What's up, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of On the Bluff. I'm your host, Christian Fowler. Joining me, as always, my producer, Kenny Stubblefield.
Yes.
No Gabe Coon tonight. Just,
Yeah.
just me and Kenny. Gabe
Such a
pushed us to do this. We
he
are,
is, he is such a clown.
yeah.
I'm just gonna throw that out there.
So if y'all did not see, we are exclusively going to Tuesday nights live at 7:00. No more pre-recording on Mondays and posting the show on Tuesdays at noon. We are now 7 p.m. live for On the Bluff, and that was Gabe's idea.
Oh, totally. He's like, guys. All right, guys, listen. Y'all know how Gabe talks. You hear him. You hear him every day from 4 to 7 on 92.90. Okay, guys. We should let's think about going live. We should definitely go live. And we're like, Christian and I are like, cool. That sounds fun.
Fine.
We can do that. Tuesdays at 7 sounds good.
And
then poof. Oh, guys, guess what? I can't be there tonight.
Yeah.
I almost cussed.
Yeah. So just me and Kenny tonight. Before we dive into it, because we have a lot to talk about. How was Thanksgiving, Kenny?
Yeah, it was pretty low key and chill until Sunday.
Until Sunday.
Yeah, like Sunday was crazy, man. Sunday blew up. Obviously, all the coaching stuff and the all that kind of deal. But I mean, in terms of just like family time, it was great, man. Like had a good time with the fam, and it's so low key, bro. Like all of us are kind of like all the families kind of like spread out now, and so we come together for very special occasions. And so we had a family get together, but it was super low key, super chill, just a cool time, great time. How about for you, man? Because hey, this is a big time of the year for you. This right now is go time for Christian Fowler.
18 days until the wedding. It's crazy. Wow. It's crazy. It feels like we just got engaged 9 months ago, and we're 18 days away. But this Thanksgiving was the craziest that I can remember.
Really?
So, yes, it was a lot. It was a lot of fun. Got to spend time with friends and family. Ate. Like, I haven't even wanted to think about food since Sunday afternoon. Like, that's how bad it was. But started not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before, we had our Friendsgiving, which was great.
Yeah.
And then Thursday, we did my family. We did Anna Ruth's family.
Right.
Friday, we did another Thanksgiving with a different part of my family. Saturday, her family from out of town came in, so we were at Rendezvous Saturday night.
Oh, God.
And then went to the Peabody afterwards. And then Sunday, we did Thanksgiving with another part of her family. So we had 6 Thanksgivings, and we went to Lafayette's on Wednesday night to see Jason D. Williams. I don't know if you're familiar. I think most people around this area are pretty familiar with him. But, yeah. So that was Sunday to Sunday, the only day I didn't have something. And I mean, I worked Monday and Tuesday, but didn't have anything those nights except the podcast Monday night. So last week was crazy. And Wednesday, cooked 316 turkeys on Wednesday also.
Good God, Jesus.
Yeah.
You're in a this is the final year of Christian Fowler, the single man, having to do all these things. I mean, obviously you and Anna Ruth have been together for multiple years, so you've been with her. But now it's about to be Christian Fowler, Mr. and Mrs. after this in the next 18 days.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. Like one of the things I think is so interesting about like family stuff is you guys are going to have to kind of figure out like where you plan your time out, right? Like how you do these different kinds of things, especially when kids start getting involved.
Yeah, I'm sure that's when it gets crazy. Yeah.
Things change.
Because like you said, we've been together for over 2 years now. So we do a lot of balancing between families and events and stuff like that, especially with her being in Oxford most of the time. So like when she comes home, it's like, okay, I want to see your family. I want to see my family. I want to see our friends. Like it's been a balancing act forever. So honestly, almost, and I don't want to jinx it, but like it'll almost be easier with her actually being here all the time and not splitting time between Olive Branch and Oxford. But one of the things that I'm most excited for is, so it is currently December 2nd. I moved into this house on November 1st.
Right.
And I am so tired of being alone.
You're bored? Are you?
I'm so bored. The way that I don't remember if I said it on the show last week or I might have just been talking to Gabe or I don't know. I feel like I've said this multiple times, but the first like hour or two that I get home from work, it's so nice because I can just decompress. I don't have to talk to anybody. I can just chill. But then when it hits like 5:30, 6 o'clock, I'm like, dude, something's got to get moving and shaking. Like this sucks. So
yeah, no doubt.
I'm tired of being alone. I'm very excited for her to move in because I'm done with being alone. Officially over it.
You're over it. 18 days, brother, and then she'll never leave you alone ever again.
Yeah.
So enjoy. No, I'm just joking. Anna Ruth. I'm joking, Anna Ruth. I'm playing. No, but Trey wants to know. Trey, y'all know Trey Lasley, the host, one of the co-hosts of the Tigers on Tap podcast. He wants to know, did Gabe Kuhn go to Fayetteville with Ryan?
He did not.
He did not?
No. I forgot what he even said he had to do tonight.
He's at a watch party for the Grizzlies game for 92.9.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
At Ratatouille's or whatever the place is called. It's a restaurant.
Okay. Well, that's fair. He can get away with that one. That's okay.
Trey said not a co-host, the
host. Trey's the host. Okay, Kenny. Well, you alluded to it. Trey alluded to it with his YouTube comment talking about Ryan going to Fayetteville. So I was thinking about this last week after we recorded. I was like, okay, from now until the next time we record, Memphis basketball isn't going to play.
Mm-hmm.
Memphis football will play Navy. What are we going to talk? Like, there's not going to be anything to talk about Memphis related. Like, we're going to be pretty heavy leaning into the hot three because we'll talk Navy and that. And obviously, that game sucked. And then we'll just kind of move on to the hot three. But then it's announced that Ryan Silverfield is leaving Memphis, going to Fayetteville to coach the Arkansas Razorbacks, a team that Memphis beat this year. I also, as many Arkansas fans, I was shocked by this, right? Because I was thinking in the middle of the year after Memphis beat Arkansas, stumbled against UAB, and then came back up and beat South Florida. I was thinking like, okay, Ryan is going to be highly sought after. And Arkansas was like the one open job at that point in time. I think around the time they beat South Florida, Sam Pittman had been fired. And it seemed like a likely connection then, but then Memphis loses to East Carolina and Navy to end the season and throw Tulane in there as well.
Yep.
They finished the season 8-4 in the American, and it was a stronger American than normal this year, I will say. We'll talk about the coaching search later, which kind of just shows you that the American was pretty strong. But I still did not see this happening. And I was kind of wondering, how is this going to be going into a bowl game and going into next year? Will Ryan, from the rip, be on the hot seat, or will he bring in enough transfer portal guys that have hype around them where everybody kind of chills out and lets the season play out? And now we will never know. We won't ever know if Ryan got on the hot seat next year, or if he broke through in the American, or if he fumbled down the stretch again and got fired. I mean, like we don't know because Ryan is going to Arkansas. When you first saw this, Kenny, what were your immediate thoughts on it?
Well, I mean, I think we had discussions like earlier on in the year, especially after Sam Pittman was fired, that Ryan Silverfield was one of the main guys that Arkansas was looking at.
Right.
And it was immediately out the gate, like, this is our guy, this is who we want. And then that talk kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
And especially you started to hear names like Rhett Lashley at SMU. You started to hear names like John Summerall at Tulane. You started hearing the Alex Golish name coming out, and other names, not Kenny Chesney. What's his name over at
Bob Chesney.
Thank you. Bob Chesney over at JMU. And you're like, these are names that if you are looking to make a kind of a splash hire, if you're Arkansas, you would probably tend to want to go for those guys. And maybe it's because we're just way too close to Ryan and his program.
I think that's fair.
Like, maybe we're like, well, Ryan wouldn't be a splash hire, because I would say that most Memphis fans, especially as the season wore on, got pretty disenfranchised with Ryan, especially when losing 4 games in the American Conference this year, it was like, yo, like there's clearly nobody. He finished 7th again in the American Conference. Like nobody's going to be talking to him. And then you start to hear all the names coming out. You start to hear, Alex to Arkansas, Alex Golish to Arkansas. Then somehow that got blown up, maybe leaking out information before it was supposed to be leaked out. But I still hadn't heard anything about Ryan until Sunday, and all of a sudden the reports came out. I think it was I forgot the guy's name who said it, but it basically said Ryan's headed to Arkansas. I was really surprised, not because I don't think Ryan will do a fine job there, but I just think I was more like I just hadn't heard his name mentioned in those circles. It had been so hot and heavy on some of the other guys that I just didn't think that he was even in the consideration anymore.
Yeah, especially after the Alex Golish stuff, right? Because I think Ryan still might have been the favorite or one of the top 2 people in the discussion, and then disappeared when you heard Alex Golish to Arkansas is pretty much done. Then that all evaporated. It was like, all right, that's not going to happen. And if he wasn't going to get a job at Arkansas, I don't think he was going to get a job anywhere. So then it was like, okay, we don't have to worry about that anymore. And then it pops up again. But to me, like, I think this is completely mutually beneficial to both parties. And that is typically not what we say when a coach from a group of 5 school gets a Power 4 job. But Ryan's rope was pretty thin with the Memphis fan base. And it wasn't, you said it a second ago, like the fans were disenfranchised with Ryan. That's not the first time they've been disenfranchised with Ryan. That's not the first time people have said, we want Ryan gone. We want Ryan Silverfield fired. So from his perspective, I would imagine it had to be pretty difficult for him to constantly hear the fan base talk about he's not getting it done. He's not breaking through. Get rid of him. He should be on the hot seat. He should be fired. Like all the negative things that were being said by fans, whether fair or not. I think some were fair. I think some were overblown, depending on what year and what point in the season you're actually talking about.
Right.
But I think that had to weigh on him. Like you just think from a personal level, like he's someone that has been here for a long time before he was even the head coach as a position coach, and to constantly have to hear about, he should be fired. We need to move on, all this stuff. And then on the flip side, from the Memphis fan base side, like the expectation is to be competing and in conference championship games, not winning 8 or 9 games a year and being somewhere between 4 and 7 in the conference. That's not the expectation.
And being bowl eligible, like that was touted. Like it's been touted that the Tigers have been bowl eligible now for almost as many years as any team in the country at this point.
Yeah,
but that's just not enough anymore.
No. That's far past the expectation. Like that's just a granted, right? Like you just take that for granted. Like Memphis will win 6 games.
Yeah,
don't worry about that. That's going to happen. But since 2019, Memphis's fan base has been asking for another American championship, at least in an appearance, not even necessarily a win, just being in the American championship game. And that has not happened. Obviously, in this 12-team playoff for back-to-back years, no Memphis in that playoff, even though at one point this year they were the favorite to represent the group of 5 in the playoff. So I just think sometimes things run their course, and it's best for both parties to separate.
Yeah.
I think, especially when you think about the direction of this athletic department, like Ryan was not an Ed Scott hire. He was a Laird Veach hire. And so now Ed Scott, who a lot of people seem very intrigued by and very intrigued what he can do for the athletic department, he gets to kind of stamp his claim on a coach. It's not just inheriting a coach and continuing to allow them to run the football program. It's no, I'm going to go through the coaching search. I'm going to find my guy, and whoever I believe can take this team to an American championship and to a college football playoff, that's who I'm going to go with. Like this is, I said it on the radio earlier with Gabe, like this is one of those fork in the road, pivotal program moments for Memphis and for Ed Scott as athletic director. Like this hire is as important as they come. Because I mean, every time I hear someone say that, it coincides with because of the desire to go play in a different conference. And I think that's obvious. Who knows how likely that I don't know. I don't even know if that's possible anymore because I feel like Memphis has been passed on so many times and done so many good things and not really been considered. But let's say if that ever is going to happen, Memphis needs to be that group of 5 team that's in the playoff. Memphis needs to win multiple American Conference championships, in my opinion. And so this is fork in the road, pivotal decision. Ed Scott's got to knock this hire out of the park, or who knows where the direction of this entire, like not just the football program, the entire athletic department goes, because it all starts with football. And if you screw up on this hire and go back to irrelevancy, then it's going to be scarce.
Yeah, and I think even an additional add-on to that is not just necessarily the conference realignment stuff, which it is what it is. And I would say to you also, I agree with your point that the American Conference was a better conference than we gave it credit for. The top part of the American Conference was a pretty tough conference this year. And so I do think that there's some teams that are on the rise. Now, we'll talk about the coaching carousel and how a lot of these top line American Conference teams have had their coaching ranks plundered, during this whole carousel time. But I would also say it's deeper than just the conference realignment stuff. It's also the amount of money that's flowing through this program through sponsorship money, the agreement they've made with FedEx, the amount of money that the Fred Smith Family Foundation has given to help renovate the Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. Like, these are all monster, it feels like Memphis football, the football program is ready to turn a corner, and there's the one main question mark is, can the head coach turn that corner with them, right? Like, or is the head coach going to continue to be mediocre at best in terms of where Memphis lands in their conference? They haven't sniffed a top 3 finish in the American Conference since 2019. They're finished 7th. 4th is the best he's finished in the American Conference in 6 years. And I said this, and I'll own this. A few weeks ago, I said that on this show, I said, listen, I like Ryan, and I still stand by that. I like Ryan Silverfield. I think he is a coach that he's a fantastic program builder. He's a fantastic representative,
ambassador for a program. Yeah.
Ambassador for a program. I stand on that. But I guess the thing that has been floating through my brain since, and what makes me think that this is a move that needed to happen for both sides, is this idea of stable mediocrity, right?
Yeah.
Like, does Memphis want to be a stable program square in the middle, or do they want to take a shot and go for it, right?
Yeah.
And this is why this hire is so important, right?
Yeah.
Like, you cannot do a Tubby Smith situation here.
No,
you cannot do it.
You can't blow this hire.
This hire has to be knocked out of the park.
Yeah.
It cannot be. The University of Memphis does not have the leeway to make a coach to mess this up.
No, not at all. And so transitioning into who is the next coach going to be, I have no idea. And I don't know how I feel about any of the candidates, to be honest with you. I don't know if Trey's still in here. I'm sure he's got some thoughts on all these guys, but I think I can say positive things for all the names that I've heard, and I can poke some holes in all the things that I've heard also. I think some of the names that have really
before you do that,
yeah, go ahead.
Before you go into names, if let's go archetype here.
Yeah.
Like, as a coach, what if they've been in the land of stable mediocrity for multiple years?
Yeah.
What archetype of a coach brings them out of that and puts them on the forefront of the G5 and potential conference realignment? Like,
I think it's pretty easy. Like, you look around the country and who are most of the up and coming guys that go to these group of 5 schools and stepping stone into high-level college football. Most of them younger, offensive-minded, exciting, innovative. That's what it mainly is. Now, there are exceptions. Like, I'm not saying that. I mean, Dan Lanning at Oregon is as a defense guy. We know that. Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame was a defensive coordinator. So I'm not saying that you have to be offensive-minded to be successful at a Group of 5 school and then make your way up the ladder. But it's worked before at Memphis. It worked with Mike Norvell. That was the archetype then, right? I mean, he was a younger coach, didn't have a lot of buzz around him at the time, came with an exciting offense, no one knew it at the time, but came with an incredible coaching staff that included Kenny Dillingham, who's a head coach, Dan Lanning, who's a head coach, Anthony Jones, who's went on to do great things. Like, that staff that Norvell brought with him was insane.
Unreal.
It was absolutely insane. So I think that's the archetype, and we see it. You look at a lot of these programs.
Let's take a step back even further than that. Would you be interested if you're Ed Scott? I'm going to put the AD hat on you right now and say, all right, Christian, are you going after a guy, like, let's say you're sitting down with a coach in an interview, or you're just starting to think about, are you going after some guy that is looking at Memphis as a stepping stone opportunity, or a guy who's coming in saying, man, this is my dream job, I want to be here for the rest of my career?
Everybody's going to say that they want to be here for the rest of their career, and everyone's going to use it as a stepping stone job. That's just that's what it is. It is a stepping stone job. What, you were there with me. What did Ryan Silverfield say in his introductory press conference? If they'll let me stay here, I'll be here forever.
Yeah.
Couldn't dream of a better job. That's what everybody said. You have to say that. Mike Norvell said it all the time. I cannot imagine being anywhere but Memphis. I love Memphis. It's the best place that I've ever been, blah, 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 blah. Memphis is a stepping stone job. It just, like,
I know a lot of Memphis fans would hear you say that and say, oh, Christian, no, man, like, we need a guy who wants to be here and build.
Why?
Right?
Well, okay. Here's a great way to look at it. Would you rather have a coach that comes in 3 or 4 years, wins 2 conference championships, 1 playoff appearance, and is gone? Or would you rather have someone that's here for 12 years, makes it to 2 conference championships, loses both of them, and that's it, but you win 8+ games every year?
Give me the dude. Listen, we complain about Tulane, right? Like, Tulane is where we should be.
Yeah.
Tulane is that place too, and look at what they've done.
Yeah,
4 straight American Conference appearances.
Yeah,
Willie
Fritz gone.
John Summerall
gone. It's all about making the right hire and continuous. That's what you have to do at a Group of 5 school. Yeah. No one wants to stay at a Group of 5 school for 15 years. Like, that's just not. That's not how coaches work. College football coaches did not become head coaches to stay at a Group of 5 school. Everybody has higher aspirations. You got to be a little bit of a psychopath to be a football coach. And that ego, that psychopath in you is not going to let you sit at a program where you can't win a national championship for 15 years.
Right.
It's just not going to happen. So I think you cannot go into it with the mindset of, we want someone who is going to make this place home for 10+ years. No, we want someone who's going to make this place home for as long as they're going to be here and bring as much success as possible. That's it. That's all you can ask for at a Group of 5 school. Make the right hire, get someone who takes you to a conference championship, maybe to a college football playoff, and start over again.
So then here's my thing. Then we'll go. Let's dive deep in it for a second. All right. One of the major names that has come out in this whole process is Kennesaw State's head coach Jerry Mack, who, on his face value, has done a fantastic job with Kennesaw State, right?
Yeah.
They've been in the FBS for 2 seasons. This is their 2nd season. And Trey is so crazy. He's been there for 2 seasons and has them in the conference championship.
Yeah.
This weekend.
9-3, I think, this year.
9-3 in their 2nd year in FBS. The one thing, like, what's cracked me up about this whole thing is everybody's like, oh, Jerry Mack. Like, yes, go get him. And I'm like, well, what do you know about him?
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Like, what do you know about the
They know
guy?
he's from Memphis and he went
They
to
know he's
Whitehaven.
from Memphis and went to Whitehaven. And
Yeah.
that's the thing that I think most people are using as he's a Memphis guy. He
Right.
wants to be here.
I can't time out for a minute. I am so tired of that. That narrative is built around everything in this city. Like when the Memphis basketball program doesn't have Memphis guys, everybody's screaming like, "We need more Memphis guys. We need more local guys." Because that's how they did it back in the day. That's how in the 70s they went to a championship. And
Right.
y'all gotta stop with that. You shouldn't care if they're from Montana, Alaska, California. It doesn't matter where the coach comes from. It doesn't matter where the players come from. I think fans just want loyalty.
Yeah.
And it's collegiate sports. There is zero loyalty.
No loyalty anymore.
Zero loyalty in collegiate sports. So forget all of that old school, like, I want somebody from the city. I want somebody loyal to represent us. I want somebody that knows the city to represent us. Dude, who cares? It doesn't. All that matters is winning games. That's it. Winning games, winning conference championships. Send them from wherever you want to send them from, but stop it with that old washed up narrative of we want somebody from the city. And I'm not saying that makes Jerry Mack a bad candidate.
No, he's probably a fantastic candidate, honestly.
If that is your reasoning for wanting someone is because I know their grandma and we grew up down the street from them, like, dude, come on. Like,
right.
don't make that your criteria. And that's not to, like I said, not to be negative against Jerry Mack. I know
he's a fantastic coach. Like he's succeeded at the level he's at. Give him more resources and better talent and better. Yeah. He could probably be just as good anywhere else. Yeah. And also let's think about it this way. He's also being looked at USF has reached out to him. Tulane has talked to him. North Texas until they got their coach talked to him. Like, it's not like he's not getting a lot of love everywhere else.
Yeah.
But I think I've gotten a little bit burnt out on he's a Memphis guy.
Yeah. Learn something about him first. You know, he spent time in a lot of places around the South. And I'm saying that for recruiting purposes. Like he spent time at Tennessee as their running backs coach for a couple years. So he knows his way around this area, like just the southern United States. He spent North Carolina is not necessarily super southern, but he was at North Carolina Central as a head coach, Kennesaw State as a head coach, and has been a lot of different places as a position coach, including Memphis at one point in time
under Larry
2011.
Porter.
Yeah, under Larry Porter. So Jerry Mack's name's been out there a lot. Other than that, we're kind of just like throwing names out there and speculating.
Charles Huff. Charles Huff is a name that's being mentioned.
Charles Huff at Southern Miss, what he's done with that program, taking them from, 1-11 to 7-5?
Yeah, 1-11 to 7-5, I think.
Yeah,
right.
So he's had an impressive season at Southern Miss. I don't know how much that one excites me necessarily, just to be honest with you. Ben Arbo at Oklahoma kind of fits the young, up and coming offensive archetype. 1 year at Oklahoma. Started off really good. John Mateer got hurt, and the offense kind of went downhill from there. I don't know. I don't know enough. I like the idea of Ben Arbuckle, but I just don't know enough and haven't seen enough to be like, yeah, that's the number one guy. Will Stein would have been the number one guy. Me and Gabe had talked about that multiple times. We were on the same page with that. I think Kentucky knocked it out of the park with that hire.
They fired Mark Stoops and had Will Stein sign a contract. Like they were walking in the door and out the door
at the same time. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later in the hot three. But he was a name that I really liked. I've heard Dan Mullen's name come up. I don't hate it. Like it does not fit the archetype that I said. I understand that. Like he's not young, up and coming. But I think Dan Mullen is a guy that got prematurely fired at Florida. And I think that he could come to a place like Memphis and win a conference championship and go back to a Power 4 school. I don't think he's washed up and done by any means. I think he's a really good recruiter.
You see what he did at UNLV this year.
Exactly. He understands offense. He understands quarterback play. And Memphis. That's another thing. Really quickly, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. That's another thing. Memphis has a young quarterback. If he stays, Who knows if AJ Hill stays or not? But if he stays, you need to bring someone in who can develop quarterbacks. Whether that is the guy that you hire as the head coach or the guy that he brings in as his offensive coordinator, you need a guy who has a proven track record with quarterbacks that can make him successful. Because all this stuff that we're talking about, the importance of this hire, a lot of it, at least for a year or two, more than likely hinges on AJ Hill and how good he can be. So that's another reason why I say an offensive-minded coach, because Memphis is known as an offensive school. And if they want to kind of continue the legacy that they've had, which has dipped a little bit in recent years, they need AJ Hill to be what they brought him here to be, and they need the coach. They need the coach to do that.
Absolutely. Well, before we close this segment down, let's go to Arkansas for 1 second.
Yeah,
because we did a live reaction to Ryan to Arkansas. Jared Davison, part of BCM staff, was on there. He's a big Arkansas fan. And I think the natural question is, like, how do you think he's going to do at Arkansas? Is he the kind of coach that you think? I mean, clearly, dude, the fan base initially was not happy by that hire. The conversations have shifted a little bit, and it's because he's flipped 4 of the top 10 recruits in Arkansas in the last 2 days.
Yeah,
back to committing to Arkansas.
Yep.
Which, can we just put that out there? Ryan Silverfield is a hell of a recruiter.
Always has been.
Like, he is going to.
So somebody said this to me earlier today. They were like, Arkansas has been recruiting somewhat close to a top 25 level. Memphis has been recruiting in the 60s and 70s. Okay, that is not apples to apples, first off. Second off, I think he had 4 of the top 5 recruiting classes in Memphis football history, which
every year it got better. Every year it got better.
Which, it's not like he was bringing in these 5-star guys or anything like that, because if that's your expectation at Memphis, that's insane. But he was recruiting about as good as you can at a group of 5 level. And so if you get some Walmart money and some Jerry Jones money and some of the big money that's around Arkansas that people don't realize how much money is in Fayetteville, he's gonna bring in elite talent. He is a great recruiter. Like, and think about it this way, and this isn't the case for everybody, but there are some coaches, when they walk in a room, parents don't feel very good about their son going there. Ryan's a genuine good dude, and I think he really knows how to relate to people. Mm-hmm. And he's just a pretty down-to-earth human being, unlike some coaches who are just kind of out there and doing their own thing. He's a great recruiter. I think he's going to recruit as well as Arkansas's seen in the last 15 to 20 years. Like, I think he can be an elite recruiter, especially depending on who he gets on staff and their ties, not only in the state, but just around the country. So, yeah, I think he's going to do a great job recruiting. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. So, great job recruiting. We know that. And he's shown that in the last 48 hours. He's done a great job with that. I got a phone call from somebody over in Arkansas. He said, okay, he's our coach now. Let me just tell you, what we expect is he's going to win every press conference. We need him to come in and win every press conference. We need him to be out front and vocal about the program. Is that a recipe for success for Ryan Silverfield?
Depends on what your definition of winning the press conference is, right? Like, I don't think you'll ever leave a press conference that Ryan did and go, wow, I want to run through a brick wall, or, oh my gosh, this guy's an idiot that can't be in front of a microphone. He's pretty much just he's coach speaking, and he knows that. We've talked about that with him before, like one-on-one, sitting down, and him be like, yeah, it's kind of what you do. You just you just go over the things again and again, and it's kind of is what it is. So it just depends on what your definition of winning a press conference is. If it's firing everybody up and making them feel like you're about to go win a national championship, no, that's just not Ryan Silverfield as a human being. And press conferences, I think he's great about that in the locker room and with the players, but he's not that guy in a press conference. So
yeah, I've seen in the last couple of days, it is very clear what Arkansas is trying to do with Ryan right now in the last 48 hours, and they're trying to blitzkrieg interwebs and radio stations and airwaves with Ryan Silverfield to try to turn the tide of like the negative feelings that people had about Ryan Silverfield as the head coach.
Yeah.
I would be very careful doing that with him because I feel like sometimes he can come across rather lame in those kinds of situations and say things that are just kind of cornball goofball, you know? And I understand what they're trying to do, but at the same time, I just go, I don't know if this is the perfect guy to do that with. Like you said, he's going to get into a recruiting situation and probably beat out everybody. But if you're asking him to get in front of a camera all the time and like be
that's just not him.
That's just not him at all.
No, he's not someone like you just hand, like if you're a social media person, you just hand the phone to and go like make magic happen. It's just not. He's
not John Calipari, your basketball coach at Arkansas.
It's not. Dude, think about who this guy is. He's a former offensive line coach.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I guess you can say Sam Pittman was a walking headline. So maybe moot point there, but that's just not Ryan as a human being. Like he's not made for clips. Like he's not a very clippable guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think that's a good call to try to. Ryan is not going to sell himself. I guess that's how the best way to put it. Like Ryan is not going to stand up and beat his chest and be that dude. Like Ryan is a watch this, follow me type of guy, not a.
He'll try every once in a while to be a stand up and beat his chest. I saw him do it today in a press conference, and it just is not. It does not land right.
It's not his comfort. It's not his comfort zone.
Not at all. Not at all. Success on the field is what really Arkansas wants to see.
Yeah.
Is it? Trey says this, and I think I agree with him. It's going to really depend on who his coordinators are, right?
Okay, here's the biggest thing. He has got to go get someone with some excitement on their offense.
Yep.
Tim Cramsey has been a lame duck OC to me. And there's been times throughout his tenure that Memphis has put up big numbers, but the lack of creativity and excitement from the offense at Memphis over the last couple of years, it's not the day and age. You know, you can't have these stale offenses that do the same things over and over again. You got to have some creativity. You got to have a good mixture of being conservative, but also being aggressive. Like there are a lot of nuances that make offenses exciting and special and fun to watch. And there have been games at Memphis where the offense has been fun to watch, but as a whole, it doesn't have the excitement and creativity and the overall fun feeling that some offenses at Memphis have had. And so I think it's important for Ryan to get someone who can bring some creativity back. And that doesn't mean like a young guy. If he wants to get someone with some experience because he's a first-time head coach in the SEC, by all means, whatever. But he just needs someone that is going to bring a spark to an offense. And then defensively, we know this team's been the Arkansas team's been a wreck defensively. So you have to bring someone in who can do their job defensively as well. But I just think you got to be exciting on offense. And that might be running the ball 45 times a game. I'm not saying it has to be bombs over Baghdad and throw for 500 yards a game. Arkansas is built on running the ball and having good offensive lines. Like that is Arkansas's bread and butter throughout their history. They can run the ball 45 times a game, but just make it creative, mix it up a little bit. Don't do the same thing over and over again, because if you are a Memphis fan, Trey, Kenny, everybody can speak to this. Like the running scheme has just been flat.
Lame. Lame.
Yeah, I think it is important for the coordinators. But Kenny, let's take a quick break. We'll be back on the other side with the hot three. We got college football, and some
NFL football. Yeah, this is Christian's wheelhouse. If this is the first time you've watched this show, this right here, this hot three, Christian is so excited. He's been ready to get to this entire time.
Yeah, it's time for a football heavy hot three. So we'll take a quick break. Be back on the other side.
In the heart of the Highland Strip for 27 years, Trilogy Tattoo has helped tell stories for Memphians for generations. Located at 530 South Highland, Richie and his team are waiting to help you tell yours. From tattoos to piercings, your body art should be as unique as you are. Voted a Memphis Flyer top 3 tattoo shop in the city of Memphis since day one. Your story will be safe here at Trilogy Tattoo. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 11, and 3 to 11 on Sundays. They have convenient times waiting on you. Let Trilogy Tattoo help you tell your story.
Are you ready to admit you were wrong about Zach Edey?
I hoped I was wrong. But even the most staunch appreciator of Zach Edey last year did not see 36 and 20. I have no problem saying that I was too far to the left on this. Context matters on this. Zach Edey was poorly used last year. That is true. You pulled out two brief clips from lots of arguments that we had last year.
Oh, buddy, I've got more. This is just the iceberg.
Is just the iceberg or the tip of the iceberg? Okay, if that's the whole iceberg, you have nothing left. Nobody is happier to be wrong than me if the 7-foot oaf that I hated for so long turns out to give me 36 and 25. It's not over. You're going to see games in which he struggles. He is not actually Shaq Edey or Shaquille O'Neal.
Clip it again.
Tune into the Two Buck Sports Show with Rusty Witten and Drew Gann, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. In Memphis, we know a thing or two about resilience. From the grindhouse to the Delta, we protect what's ours. But when pests invade your home, it's time to fight back. Grade A Pest knows how to handle what crawls, flies, and bites. With local experience and guaranteed results.
I'm Reggie with Grade A Pest Control. We service the Memphis metro area. That also includes DeSoto and Fayette County as well.
Grade A Pest has the entire Mid-South covered. So if bugs and pests put you to the test, let Grade A solve your problem. All right, we are back with the second segment. This is the Hot 3, where we talk about the 3 hottest sports stories.
Hey, are you tired of watching yourself on that Trilogy Tattoo commercial?
Oh, by far, yeah. Yes. I'm tired of hearing my voice. I shaved my beard off for that because of that commercial.
Yeah, I know you do a lot more in front of the camera now with the podcasting, but it used to be a fight to try to get you on camera. So.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. All right, let's get to it. The Hot 3 hottest stories in sports. Man, this has been it's been an interesting time in college football, the coaching carousel.
Yeah.
We're not even going to talk about the main one because we saved that for the second point, basically. It needs its own time.
Yeah.
But you mentioned earlier in the show that the American Conference was better than what most people gave it credit for, and I think you can even see that by
the coaching
number of coaches that were poached out of the American Conference this year. Ryan Silverfield to Arkansas, John Summerall to Florida, Alex Golesh to the Plains and Auburn. Just a bunch of guys, like just the best 3 coaches in the conference apparently got taken out. Penn State still got an open job. Yep. There's a bunch of James Franklin's in Virginia Tech. Bro, let's just talk about this carousel for a little bit.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy for a minute. I think we've kind of lightened up a little bit now. Most of those openings are filled. But like you said, John Summerall to Florida, Golesh to Auburn.
Do you like that? You like John? Let's go through each one. You like John Summerall in Florida?
I love John Summerall. I think even though he's a defensive guy, played linebacker at Kentucky, right? He brings that energy and that passion and that emotion. Like I've only listened to him a couple of times, but every time I'm like, dang, that guy would be fun to play for. Like that guy brings a lot of energy to a program. So I like John Summerall. I think he was pretty highly sought after too. I think they all wanted him. I think he was kind of the second tier behind Lane Kiffin for most of these SEC schools that they had John Summerall circled, because you heard rumors about Ole Miss.
I think Ole Miss would have jumped on John Summerall if Lane had come out earlier and made the decision quicker, right?
Yeah, and there was something else too. I think Auburn was in on Summerall also, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know about that.
I'm pretty sure they. I think I heard Josh Pate talking about this earlier.
I'm sure John Summerall was involved. I'm sure his representation fielded calls.
Yeah, but I think he had basically agreed in principle to take the Auburn job, and they were trying to control who he brought with him and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and so he ultimately went to Florida because they were willing to give him a lot more freedom with his staff and those kind of things. So I think that home run hire for Florida, they need to get back to prominence, and I feel like he has a better shot of doing it than Billy Napier did. And then Alex Golesh to Auburn. I really like Alex Golesh. I think he's exactly what Auburn needed. I think he is likely going to be what they thought they were getting in Hugh Freeze, which is someone who would bring an innovative, creative offense that would kind of bring them back to their glory days. And instead, he brought just the most miserable, not fun to watch, incompetent offense that Auburn has seen in years, with just terrible quarterback play. It was just a disaster. It was a disaster with Hugh Freeze. Alex Golesh doesn't fit the same bill. Obviously, he's young, up-and-comer, not a retread. Came from Tennessee to South Florida. Offense. And with that hypo offense, a lot of people thought it would only work for a year or two and then get shut down, but Tennessee was still one of the best offenses in the entire country this year. So I think Golesh will do fine at Auburn. I think he brings offense back there, which they need so bad.
Did you hear his press conference, his initial introductory press conference in Auburn?
I have not.
He was asked, one of the first questions asked of him was, "Do you play golf?" Because apparently that's the rumor and story about Hugh Freeze, is that he just
couldn't stay off the golf course.
He couldn't stay off the golf course.
Yeah.
His response was perfect. He said, "Listen, my son plays golf and he loves it. My wife's an elite golfer. I like golf, but I like football better.
Yeah.
I also suck at golf." Like,
that's good.
I was like, that's a great answer, man.
That's what they needed. What else do we got? Bob Chesney to UCLA. I like that. I think Bob Chesney is another one of those young up-and-coming guys from the group of five, coming from James Madison to UCLA, which has been a dumpster fire for quite some time now. So maybe he's the guy to bring them back to some kind of relevancy, not like UCLA is some college football powerhouse, but they've seen a lot brighter days than they have over the last several years. What are we missing? I think you said
James Franklin to Virginia Tech.
I love that. I think every copy and paste. Everybody has the same thoughts on that. I agree. I love it. I think it's a great hire.
Yeah.
Will Stein at Kentucky.
There you go.
Once again, young, innovative, offensive guy who coming from Oregon. Helped with Bo Nix, helped with Dante Moore. Was he at UTSA before that, I think he was at UTSA before he went to Oregon. You can fact check me on that. But I think those years that Frank Bonner was really good. Is that his name, Frank Bonner? The quarterback?
No, Frank Bonner's at Dilley Memphian.
Yeah.
Frank.
What's his name? Frank Harris?
Frank Harris, thank you.
Yes. Frank Bonner.
Frank Bonner's he's like, yeah, boy.
Yeah, you got it right. But yeah, I think he was at UTSA before Oregon. So he's been around good offenses. So I really like Will Stein.
Yeah, he was the quarterback's coach and co-offensive coordinator at UTSA. I did not know that.
Yes, yeah. So he's quickly risen up the ranks, going from UTSA to Oregon and now being a head coach in the SEC at Kentucky. And we talked about it earlier with Silverfield. Like, sometimes getting away from each other is good, and I think Kentucky and Mark Stoops had absolutely run its course. Like, it was just time. And I know it wasn't Stoops leaving for another program like Silverfield to Arkansas in the Memphis situation. He was fired. But I think he was done with it. I think the fan base was done with it. The athletic department was done with it. He was there for a long time. He led Kentucky to some of their best years, but ultimately, like, they were not a consistent program.
Right.
They had a couple of seasons where it was like, oh, Kentucky's good this year. But he didn't have them consistently being someone that other SEC teams were scared of. Right. And I think with Will Stein, they could be. I think they could be a solid team in the SEC if he lives up to his hype.
Yep. Let's power rank these coaching hires.
Okay.
Because the big thing about the SEC is that I feel like they bring in these hot young coaches all the time and just don't give them a lot of time to like actually get things right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
None of these coaches are looking at this as a stepping stone. Florida, LSU.
Except maybe Will Stein.
Except for maybe Will Stein,
yeah.
Right? They're not, but he is in the SEC. So like, and he's probably making decent money at Kentucky.
Yeah, he's making good money.
So
power rank SEC, new SEC coaches.
Yeah, like which coach is going to be the most successful, and which do you think is going to be gone within 3 years?
Including or excluding Lane Kiffin?
Let's include Lane Kiffin.
Lane Kiffin's number one. Lane Kiffin's number one. Like that, I don't. That's not even really a conversation. Like LSU, Lane Kiffin, that's number one. John Summerall at Florida is number two. Alex Golish at Auburn's number three. Will Stein at Kentucky's number four, and Ryan at Arkansas is number five.
Wow.
And the Will Stein at Kentucky and Ryan Silverfield at Arkansas is really close. I think probably in the first 2 years it might be Silverfield having more success because he's been a head coach. He's been there, done that. And Will Stein's having to learn it for the first time in the SEC. At first-time head coach as an SEC coach is a little bit different than coming from the group of five to the SEC as a head coach. So I might put Ryan at 4 and Will Stein at 5 just because – yeah, I'm going to flip it. I am going to flip it now because Will Stein is just such an unknown. You just don't know what you're going to get.
I've heard a lot of people say, Arkansas hired an offensive line coach with Sam Pittman, and now that's what they're doing with Ryan Silverfield. He's been a head coach for 6 years. Right? He knows it a lot. He knows how to run a program.
Yeah.
He knows this thing well.
Yeah.
It's all for me. It's all about the coordinators for him. If he can get 100%. Good coordinators in, he'll be all right. Let's bring in James Franklin to the situation. Virginia Tech. Where does that land? Is Lane still number one?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Lane's still number one.
Last question about the coaching carousel. Have you been contacted by Penn State as a potential head coaching opportunity, head coaching target?
No, but they might be getting close.
They're getting close to you. Like I have a feeling your name is like very close on this list, right? Like
I don't know what they're gonna do. Like, to be completely honest, I don't. I really thought Bob Chesney was gonna be their guy. And a lot of people
let him get away to UCLA. He's a Pennsylvania guy.
Yeah, maybe they didn't want him. I don't know. I mean, I would think if you're Bob Chesney, you would choose Penn State over UCLA, but. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. And I know they've been going after BYU's coach, and looks like he's turned them down now. So
as Trey said last night, that man got Crumble Cookie gave him a year's lifetime supply of Crumble Cookie, and he stayed in BYU. So it's crazy to me, man. Like Penn State, like who are they going to get?
Brian Kelly. He's a Northeast guy.
Sam Pittman.
No. Brian Kelly is a Northeast guy, though. I think he's a Massachusetts guy.
All right. Topic number 2. We mentioned him for a few seconds. You've got him number 1 in the power rankings in terms of coaches, or coaching hires.
Yeah.
But, bro, we've got to talk through this Lane Kiffin to LSU situation.
We might be here all night if we really get into it.
Brother.
We're going to have to abbreviate.
Brother.
This is a nuanced situation, man. This is deep.
All right. Your lovely fiance is a student at Ole Miss.
Yep.
You are in Oxford all the time. If you were Lane,
law student, man.
Law student. Yeah, she's not a undergrad.
Yeah, not just a regular student.
She's a law student.
Student.
She's a powerful woman.
Special breed.
Are you Dude, is it wrong for me? Like, I understand wanting to go to LSU, but I feel like Lane Kiffin just literally tried to destroy Ole Miss on the way out.
This is so complicated because I don't think, and I am a lifelong orange-blooded Tennessee football fan.
Right.
I am not a Lane Kiffin apologist. I have been a Tennessee fan since the day
You got burned. Your school got burned by Lane Kiffin.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. 2009, we got absolutely shafted by Lane Kiffin. I don't think that he wanted to ruin the Ole Miss football program.
Brother.
I don't think he wanted to. I don't listen. Just listen for a second. If it was offered to me between LSU or Ole Miss, I'm going to coach LSU 1 million times out of 1 million times.
All right, cool. I get it.
I don't think this is fully on Lane Kiffin. I think this has really exposed the issues with the college football calendar.
That's fair, but
I got more. Just let me get to the end of my spiel.
I'm gonna let you eat.
Let me talk.
Okay.
So I think it's really exposed how bad the college football calendar is. Because do you know when the transfer portal opens now? January 2nd.
Right.
Do you know how long it's open for?
Like a week, right?
2 weeks. January 2nd to the 16th. It was a 9-month transfer portal pretty much, right? From now until August, you could pretty much go wherever you wanted to. Now you've got 2 weeks. At a program like LSU, you also have to go re-recruit all the guys that are there, all the guys that have left, that have decommitted, because they've had some big guys decommit from LSU after Brian Kelly. You also have to re-recruit the entire roster because the transfer portal is coming. You have to go. Even at that, Lane wanted to stay and coach this Ole Miss football team. 100%. 100%.
I know he did. No way.
Yeah, I get it. I don't think you can do that. If I'm Ole Miss, I wouldn't want him to do that. I say go kick rocks. If I'm LSU, I said there's no way you're doing that. You got to get here and focus 100% on LSU. He wanted the best of both worlds, which you can't have. Unless you're John Summerall, then you can have it.
Exactly.
But people bring up that example. It's completely different. You're talking about a group of 5 school in Tulane and an SEC program in Florida.
A top 10 SEC program in Ole Miss.
Now, if I'm Florida, I would not want John Summerall coaching Tulane, but you got to be respectful and say, look, you earned this. Go coach them the rest of the way, and you know, keep recruiting for us, and do your job for us, but coach them on that one game before you ultimately lose if you do go to the playoff. Here's the difference though, is the way that Lane Kiffin handled it. Right, we just saw John Summerall at an introductory press conference for Florida, and then go back and have a press conference for Tulane, right? Two different colors. He's wearing blue and orange, and then he's wearing green and white. Pretty much back-to-back days. Nobody's saying anything bad about John Summerall. Why is that? Because he has not done all the antics that Lane Kiffin has done throughout this process. He didn't drag his feet. He didn't make a big deal about it. He didn't make all these social media posts. He wasn't trying to be the king of the moment. He just made his decision and said, okay, I'm going to leave and I'm going to go to Florida, but I'm still going to coach this team. And Florida allowed him to do that. Lane Kiffin is being dragged the way he's being dragged right now is because he drug his feet the whole time. Okay, if he was going to stay, and I've been saying this the whole time, if he was going to stay, he would have done what Kurt Cignetti at Indiana did and shut it down. He would have done what Clark Lee did at Vanderbilt and shut it down and signed their extension. He also could have left a week and a half ago.
Right.
And not been taking trips to Gainesville, and not been taking trips to Baton Rouge, and not been doing all these other things. But Lane has always loved the spotlight and
Always.
always loved the drama. And that's what he's going to bring. And that's what he does. So I don't think he screwed Ole Miss.
He absolutely screwed Ole Miss. He screwed them out of their head coach. They have Pete Golding as the defensive, as the permanent head coach, just to stave off like Lane poaching the offensive coordinators. They had to go hire Pete Golding.
Yeah.
Shout out to Pete Golding. Congratulations. But you cannot tell me that if Lane hadn't strung them along by claiming I'm praying over this, when really all it was him trying to negotiate with Keith Carter, not even negotiate, trying to strong arm Keith Carter into coaching the playoffs, all that. He waited until Alabama won their game against Auburn to see, like, are we going to be in the SEC championship or not? Like, that's when all of it came out. My frustration, my problem with it is the difference between John Summerall.
Have you heard the conspiracy theory on that?
I have not.
Some people think that if Alabama would have lost to Auburn, they would have fired Kalen DeBoer.
It wouldn't surprise.
And so Lane was waiting to see if Bama opened. That's a conspiracy, but
I don't.
anyway.
It wouldn't surprise me. Would it surprise you?
No, not at all. Nothing surprises me with Lane.
The one big massive difference between
the next coach.
The one big that's the secondary issue in terms of screwing Ole Miss, because there is not a doubt in my mind that if Lane had come out a week before and said, yes, I am leaving, and I want to coach, but I want to do right by the school that basically helped me reinvent my entire life.
100%. Yeah,
in Oxford.
Definitely. Nobody wanted Lane Kiffin.
Ole Miss could have gone and said, hey, we love you, Lane. Thank you for bringing us back to national relevance. We're going to go get our guy, John Summerall, over in Tulane. That's what they could have done. But now they're stuck with Pete Golding.
Right.
All right. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, what is the second thing? The second thing is this. You brought up John Summerall as an example of John Summerall didn't make a big deal about it. That's why Florida's allowing him to go back to Tulane. The biggest difference is that Tulane's a G5 school and Florida's not.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, he's leaving an SEC school that is top 5, top 10 in the country pretty much the entire year, that has a legitimate shot to go play in the national championship game this year, for a rival school in LSU that's in the same conference. Like, it is just and the reasoning he gave is because God told me to. Like, it's not a like
and Nick Saban
and his father, right? Apparently in a dream said you should go do this. Like, it's just the biggest difference is he's leaving an SEC school to coach another SEC school, all the while trying to basically say it's my way or the highway. I want all my cake and I want to eat it too, and I want to be able to destroy Ole Miss. That's the problem. John Summerall's leaving Tulane, which is a fantastic school, and he's done a fantastic job there, building on what Willie Fritz has done. But it's a G5 school. It makes sense. Like, everybody's
here's the difference, though. Like, people like Lane Kiffin, who have been around college football or football in general, but also college football for a very long time. LSU is viewed as one of the top 3 jobs in the country.
I understand that.
In the new thinking, it doesn't make as much sense, right? Just like Kurt Cignetti staying in Indiana instead of going to Penn State, that would have been crazy 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I think he could have stayed at Ole Miss and had similar success to this year, pretty much every year. Because if they don't piss down their leg last year, they're probably in the playoff as well.
Right.
But two people that have been around the game and view college football as the same way that it was 10 years ago, you don't miss out on going to LSU to stay at Ole Miss. And I honestly think it boils down to as simple as that.
I understand him taking the LSU job, but it's not viewed the same because he's leaving Ole Miss to go to LSU. Like, I understand football people understand LSU is a different place than Oxford. but it's not like he doesn't have the same level. He is the mayor of Oxford.
I wouldn't. If it was me, I probably wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it either.
He has it made down there, and they would have paid him. I think LSU's paying him 13. Ole Miss would have paid him 13.
Absolutely.
I would have paid also because you have something already built there. You can make the same amount of money. You can clearly compete for a national championship at Ole Miss, but they just have a different view of that job, of the LSU job. They just have a different view. And in his mind is thinking, look, I built Ole Miss into what it is. Ole Miss was not this before I got here. Coach O won a national championship. Les Miles won a national championship. Nick Saban won a national championship. If Les Miles and Coach O can win a national championship at LSU, what can I do at LSU?
I agree.
That's what he's thinking. I'm not saying right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm just saying that's the thought process. Is I had to fight and scratch and claw to get Ole Miss to this point. If I just take everything that's already at LSU, all the recruits around the state, all the resources from the boosters and from the athletic department, what can I do? Can I win 3? Can I win 4 national championships there? I'm just saying, he's a very egotistical guy. Coaches are all have their ego. Lanes is at the top of the list. I think he thinks he can go there and just win championship after championship and beat Alabama 2.0. I really think that's why he took that job.
And you're probably 100% right. But it is the way he went about.
It's always going to be the way that he goes about it. It's what he does, man.
Bro,
that's how he does it.
It is messy. And to then claim victimhood in it, like it should be. It's my right. It's my right to finish coaching out this team. Brother.
No, it ain't.
No, it ain't.
All right, we're going long already, Kenny. Let's get to this last point and wrap it up quick.
All right, let's go to some NFL power rankings. New England, ESPN put out their power rankings. I know you're not a big ESPN power rankings guy, but this is the one I have up, so this is the one we're going with. New England Patriots 11-2, they're number 1. Los Angeles Rams 9-3, number 2. Denver Broncos, surprise, surprise, 10-2, are number 3. I think the biggest surprise for me is number 8. The leader in the NFC, Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams, dude, is he showing he's legit NFL quarterback?
Yeah, I think Caleb's played well for the most part this year. I think he's still got to work on accuracy and just on target throws. He just gets a little bit too wild sometimes. But more than anything, I think this speaks to Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson is everything you could want in a coach. And I've said this for years now. It's who I wanted the Cowboys to hire in this cycle. Like, I am a huge Ben Johnson fan. And I know that's not like groundbreaking. There are a lot of people that were big on Ben Johnson, so I'm not trying to like look at me. But he is so good, man. He's such a good coach. He is so good. Like, if you watch the way that he talks to that team and handles himself around that team, like he's the man.
Yeah.
He is the man. And taking his shirt off after the win, did you see that?
I did.
In the locker room?
Yeah.
Like, he's revitalized a team that hasn't been relevant in quite some time overnight. I mean, it's largely the same roster it was last year outside of the offensive line. They did retool the offensive line, brought in Joe Thuney, brought in Drew Dahlman, brought in some big-time reinforcements on that offensive line, but the supporting, Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, Caleb Williams, DeAndre Swift, defensively, very similar team. But they're 9-3 because they believe and they have a good system and they have a good coach. I didn't know if they were for real or not.
I didn't know either. It's crazy.
I really wasn't sure, especially after they lost to the Ravens with Tyler Huntley at quarterback. I was kind of like, oh, they're just playing bad teams and sneaking by in these games. The last couple of weeks, man, I mean, beating the Eagles is a big deal. Even though the Eagles look like they're struggling right now, for a team like Chicago, who's kind of on the up and up, to beat a team that was that won the Super Bowl last year, is a big deal. They have a gauntlet coming up. They're 9-3. They're the number 1 overall seed in the NFC, which is just crazy. 76% chance to make the playoffs. partly because of their schedule, partly because they play in a division that also features the Lions and the Packers. So I don't know how far they'll go this year. I don't know if they're ready to be like an NFC Championship or Super Bowl team yet. But much like Dan Campbell in Detroit, like just give Ben Johnson, if they don't this year, like if they don't go deep into the playoffs this year, give him another year or two. And I think they're going to be among the best teams in the NFL for years to come because they got the two most important things right, I think. Quarterback and head coach. And if you got those two things right, then you got a lot going for you.
That's right. Any other team in the that you're interested in? I know Cowboys are at 15. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs, who are at 16. Kansas City's out, right? Like they're pretty much cooked at this. Still got a
37% chance to make the playoffs.
Oh,
Cowboys only have a 16% chance. We basically have to win out, and probably need to win the division. But no, not really. I checked out a couple power rankings this morning. I just like reading about them. They don't mean it. We know they don't mean anything.
Right.
There's some teams that are going to hover up there regardless, but I'll close it out on Bears. Like I'm excited about them. Like they are fun to watch. I think they got a bright future, and I'm excited to see how they close this year out. But we appreciate you guys for joining us this week, another week live. So like we said at the top of the show, if you missed it, we are going to be live 7 p.m. every Tuesday night moving forward. No more Monday pre-records and noon on Tuesday. We are live every week at 7 o'clock. So once again, we appreciate you guys for joining us, and we will see you back here next week.
Thank you for listening to On the Bluff. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. Head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co for comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports and how you can become an insider.